All right, here we go. Bang! Bolt Action News Group. Wrights Crispy and the Stone Sailor. Thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And thanks to Rob Farlow, a.k.a. the Stone Sailor. What do you got to say?
Hey, listen up, Dickie. This isn't Saturday Night Live. It's not Saturday Night Fever. This is Saturday Night Bang. You understand? Saturday Night Bang. This show right here is going to be the top news show in the country very soon. I guarantee you that. We got the Navy Marine Corps thing going. You understand? We can't be stopped. Let's let it roll.
Boom. Thanks again to everybody who's here. Leslie Sylvan, always. Uber Girl Paula, thank you for being here. Miami Beach Audits. I would appreciate if you did hook me up with that copy. What he's talking about is a roster of the police. Anybody who can, go to their police station and get a copy of the roster, email me at wrightscrispy@gmail.com. Send me that copy. We'll put it on our database. That way, somebody cuts you off in traffic, you don't have to stop them and ask them for the name and badge number. You know who it is. It works out great when you know who's patrolling your streets like you should. Yeah, you know that guy, Government Accountability? He said he was going to be making an appearance later on, but he's out in Oak. He knows, he's under Grandpa GJ, Grady Judd.
Oh.
He knows all the Winter Haven police where he lives. He knows them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grady Judd is the headline grabber. That's the headline grabber right there, baby. He never met a camera he didn't like.
Exactly. Mac A Golf, Semper Fi, brother. Angel, what's up, Angel? James, Florida Monk. Cool Out AC, yes. Props to Rashida Tlaib's recent tweet against eroding civil liberties because of the Capitol riots. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, sorry, we are going to be talking about the National Guard. We have a couple of things that we have to discuss regarding them, and a couple of encounters that I wanted to highlight in some videos. There's a guy named Last Days of Freedom. His new channel name is American Audits, I believe, LDOF, Last Days of Freedom. Mm-hmm. But he puts in good work every day. And I'll show you a video of his where he encounters a National Guardsman who's a master sergeant. Okay. And this guy swears that he loves the First and Second Amendment, but has no idea about the Fourth and really all of the First. And then I ran into some in Alabama. You got to see. I don't know. Did you ever see that one?
I saw the one. Yeah, with you or second?
Yeah, with me, where they call the cops on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to get your take on that. So, aside from that, anybody who has any questions, comments, agreements, or disagreements, we have the chat going up here. We will let you guys go ahead and write what you want to ask, and we'll read it out and try to answer. I don't like to pontificate on things that I don't know about. So, there's a lot that we're still learning about current events. So I'll just tell you what I've learned so far. In tonight's topic, like I said, we're going to be talking about the National Guard. And I don't know if anybody else read. It was a pretty popular article by Politico that headlines with the quote from the National Guardsman. Let's say somebody from Politico walks up to you. You're a National Guardsman, Stone Sailor. What do you tell them?
I have no comment.
Right. You don't say, we feel incredibly betrayed.
Talk to my PAO. That's my public affairs officer, not me. I'm sorry, I have no comment.
Well, this person, I'll let you guys read it here. I'm going to share the screen. Check this out. Yesterday, dozens of senators and congressmen walked down our lines, taking photos, shaking our hands, and thanking us for our service. Within 24 hours, they had no further use for us and banished us to the corner of a parking garage. We feel incredibly betrayed, the guardsman said. Now, do you think that was taken out of context by the reporter, or do they look banished? They're in the corner of a parking garage, but
I wouldn't use the word betrayed. I would use the word disrespected.
yeah. So how come you feel that way? How come you feel they're disrespected?
Well, from what I understand, they were in hotels at one time, correct? Okay. So it's typical politician Washington. You know, they need you when they need you, and they'll go take a photo with you. But then after that, you're discarded like trash. And that's how they do. That's exactly how they treat veterans. You have not all elected officials, not all, but you also got to remember there's a major issue here. 99% of these elected officials don't have any family members in the military. So they send you off to war, your kids, me, but they don't have any skin in the game. They're elitist, and they look down upon hardworking people and the military. That's my opinion.
And homeless people, they can't stand the sight of them either. They want homeless people.
They don't like them either. No, they don't like them either.
If it's a homeless veteran, even worse. Get out of my sight. Yes. Out of my sight, because we always talk about how we don't want to help anybody. We want to help everybody before we help our homeless veterans. How do you feel about that?
They don't even want veterans with disabilities in pictures.
Right.
You know that.
No, I know. And this isn't
a Democrat. This isn't a blue or a red or a Democrat Republic. They're both parties are guilty of that. They like to send you to war. They've never been to war. Half of these guys dodged the draft. Okay. These older people that are still in, these baby boomers, all kinds of excuses. I got a boil on my asshole, whatever it is, and they didn't serve. And now they come back and they're hardcore. I'm a hardcore, let's fight terrorism. And they want to send everybody else's kids to war, but they don't send their own. They think they're elites. They've created an elite class.
When we look at this problem logistically, if you're in command, let's say you're the major, right? And you're what do you call it? Lieutenant commander?
Lieutenant commander. Oh, yeah. What would be an 04.
Right. And that guy's pretty much in charge of the logistics of your operation, right? He's the one who says, all right, we're going to take our breaks in the parking garage because there's 5,000 of you where we are putting you up in hotels. Nobody slept in a parking garage. That has to be clarified. There was 40-degree weather outside of this parking garage, but they were in a parking garage taking their breaks. It says Capitol Police and National Guard have coordinated their efforts to ensure that the soldiers and airmen stationed at the Capitol complex have appropriate space where they may take on-duty breaks during their shift. They explained in the Post. At one point, some soldiers were asked to relocate their break area due to increased foot traffic in a certain area, but that issue has been resolved. They continue to explain that when off-duty, service members in Washington are being housed in hotel rooms and other comfortable accommodations. Thanks for checking up on us. So yeah, thank you. But one bellyacre out there who can't stand, to take a break in a parking garage and wants to sensationalize it, like we had Cool Out AC astutely observe. That's what it is. It's just, we can't look at all cops and see them as heroes, just like we can't look at all National Guardsmen and see them as heroes. Out of those 5,000 people, that's that one guy who went viral on Political.
Yeah,
that's why we have not to talk to the press when you're on.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he'll probably get in this. He'll catch some heat for that, I'm sure, by his chain of command. We'll see. He should. In my day, he would have. So we'll see.
So again, going back
Um,
to thinking about it logistically, if you were the lieutenant commander, what would you do with 5,000 troops? Keep them in the halls where, business of sending them to war and back is being done,
yeah.
or get them out of your sight because, oh shit, I'm going to have to send you to war. Excuse me, I have to get through that door. It's uncomfortable. Yeah. So where do you put them? The parking lot. The parking garage.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could parking lot, yeah, and there's probably other things they could have done with tents and things like that because they are National Guard. They know how to put up tents and heating tents and things like that.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, if I was the OIC, that's what I would have been thinking. I would have said, okay, let's get some of those heating tents, and they put the heaters in there. You could 12, 15 people in one of those.
That's not a unilateral decision. There are other people involved that would be like, oh, but what are the optics of that? We have these tents staged up on Capitol Hill out there when we could just house these guys in this parking garage. It's covered, it's sheltered. It's not the 40-degree weather that is being reported in there. You know what I mean?
Well, then I would argue the optics of the other way. I would say, do you really want our soldiers? Do you want people to see, perception is reality. You understand? So I would argue.
This was a lose-lose. Look at Dr. Sean Berry, Jarheads and Squids. Dr. Sean Berry said that Trump offered to put them up. I guess he was probably putting them up. Trump was also getting COVID relief aid.
Okay.
Just like all hotels should, who are actually doing things. I stayed in this one hotel.
Personally, I would have liked to have seen all those National Guards troops vaccinated before they went into the Capitol.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of Marines were just vaccinated in boot camp today.
Okay. So, there's been an outbreak since they had that little camp out there in the parking lot. There's been an outbreak of COVID too from that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. So I'm thinking, if you're going to vaccinate all the Congress people, why wouldn't you vaccinate all the troops, especially the ones that are going to be saving your ass?
Let me read some comments here. It's an economic decision not to fund vets programs. Then they have more money to spend on weapons, to blow up more stuff, and disable more of your brethren whose care they will then neglect, etc. And the cycle continues. Well, I'm sure that's absolutely true, but there's also the other side. Like, after being fucked by the government so much, who would trust the government to take care of them? I understand why a lot of them don't want to go to the place that they could see right across the street. They'll camp out in front of it and wait till the cops come to harass them and tell them to leave, or go in there and get the help that they have to do. Most of the time, they have to get clean. If they don't want to get clean, they don't get anything. You know what I mean?
That's another thing. That was an incredibly large amount of people in a parking lot. I don't think they had the bathroom facilities to sustain that. They should have erected porta potties. That's how I think in my brain, mission planning.
Yeah, the parking garage only had 2 toilets for 5,000 people, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Marine Corps, it would have been like, we have plumbing? All right, form 2 2,500-man lines. That's a blessing. For what do we owe this? We get a roof. We're not sleeping in mud. I slept in mud before. I slept in mud in the northern training area in Okinawa, under the trails of a M1908.
Yep.
So, Dr. Sean Berry, sump pump. Yeah. Snap phase, what's up, brother? UP, they removed toilets? Wow.
They removed them?
Yes, veterans deserve the utmost respect, and they should get the best housing and medical care. Absolutely, they should.
Sure.
They don't. And a lot of times they've tried and they've been stung by the same bugged twice, and they don't want to go back for more. So that's a problem with trying to help veterans.
Every time I hear an elected official BS me about how he loves veterans and how much he loves them, I always ask him this question. Well, if you love us so much, why don't you give us the health care you got?
Yeah.
Put us into your program.
And one of the 5 wars that we're currently in. 5 wars right now.
Yeah. Allow us veterans to enroll in the federal employee health benefit plan that the congressmen get, the members of Congress get. They get to pick and choose from 4 or 5 Cadillac plans for peanuts, and nobody else gets that kind of choice. They get dental, they get vision, they get it all, baby, and it's all at a cheap rate for peanuts. They can go to any doctor they want, go to a specialist, PPOs, all that. Why don't you give us that health care?
Yeah. Oh, I closed the whole thing by accident. Okay, let me do this.
And give the Stone Sailors cannabis too. Give the Stone Sailors. I want my cannabis too, Dickie, from Biden. I want my cannabis.
I'm gonna pull these windows back up again, but tell these folks those who don't know why and when you started smoking cannabis.
I started smoking cannabis almost a year ago. I was a law enforcement.
You're 46 years old.
I'm 46. Yeah, I started smoking at 45. I used to be on the other side of the issue. Worked a drug detector dog, canine, police, military police, federal corrections officer, all that. I used to put people in jail for drugs. I used to search for drugs. And I was from the Nancy Reagan era. You know, hugs are better than drugs. Just say no. I watched my brother become a heroin addict and commit suicide. I had cousins and uncles that were all in prison for trafficking under the Joe Biden 94 crime bill, I might add, too. And they all went away for 15 to 30 years for cocaine. I was anti-drug, and then I got paralyzed and went through so much pain that I would rather die, that I wanted to die, okay?
Wow.
And from there, I had a friend who introduced me to cannabis, and it saved my life. And that was about 7 months ago.
Wait, and their feelings don't trump my rights.
Hold on. Sorry. That's amazing, man. And I know I can give you that prognosis. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be walking again.
Yeah.
And I believe your new vice has helped in that.
Oh, it's not. Well, you know, men with no vices have very few virtues. Remember that. Men with no vices have very few virtues.
Yes,
So people that don't have any vices are usually fucking not all together. All right. So they have my vice.
Right on. Yes, he left the
and
dark
from that
side.
point, I wanted to tell the world about cannabis. And so hence the Stone Sailor. And that's how it is. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. All right, check this out, man. This is Auditors of America, Last Days of Freedom. He's got 3.59K subscribers now. We need more. He asked me to share his stuff. I know San Joaquin just shared this video. This is one of San Joaquin's videos. I'm gonna put up here. Check this out. Let me know if you can hear it. All right. And let me take this.
Like he said he was going to put a sign up there saying this whole parking lot and area is a restricted area. Well, if he does that, that's a violation of my rights if I can't walk back down here. Because this is government property. Because you ever heard of the First Amendment that y'all fight for?
I do, and I'm a big fan. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm super big fan.
Super big.
First Amendment, Second Amendment. I love the Constitution. I really do. I also have to think about the welfare of the guys that are here because of the things that went on in Washington. There's a lot of people that are upset right now. And
I'm here for no ill will. I came to get pictures and a little bit of video. Once I get that, I'm leaving. Y'all ain't gonna have no problems for me. I mean,
can I get your name?
Welcome back, everyone. This video comes to you from Auditors of America, and this guy's channel seems to be growing pretty quick. He's out there putting in a lot of good work, audit after audit. He's bringing us some solid videos. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. I'll see you guys in his comment section. I have a feeling you guys are going to like this video, and watch it all the way to the end. Let me know what you guys think about this officer.
So this guy comes out.
In order to get a PAO rep to come out, and then they can walk you through the building.
He told him
well, I
about
wouldn't go inside. I was just
Well, I
getting
know,
some
but
shots of
outside is still, it's a no-go thing.
There's no restricted signs, restricted area signs.
Okay, well, this is not a place that you can film
And why?
because it's a federal facility.
Federal is government, which is
Correct.
public property.
Not necessarily.
I
Unless
hate
you
it
have-
when people say that. That's one of my pet peeves. Is that not necessarily thing?
Yeah, that's a National Guard armory.
That's a National Guard armory. This is the parking lot in front of it. I
Okay,
think this might be a MEP station. I'm not sure. Oh,
Okay, but if a National Guard armory in a state is usually state property.
Yeah, but it kind of looks a little weird with everything that's going on right now. Our force protection level is kind of high right now because of everything that's going on.
Okay, but feelings don't trump my rights. Your concern for security don't trump my. You are. You're telling me I have to leave, and you're going to put up a sign stating I can't come down.
I am going to put a sign up because that's what you said. You said if it had a sign up that you couldn't come in and do it.
you hear that?
But then I'm going to call your superiors and.
He said, you know, if there was a sign up here, that said that it's a restricted area, then I wouldn't come in here. He goes, okay, I'm going to go print up a sign. He said to him. He goes, and he orders the sergeant earlier in the video. He orders a sergeant, go get the USC code and print it up because you can't just print it up. It has to have a title behind it or something, you know. And he's like, Sergeant, look up the USC. Like he's ordering the sergeant and then he tells him, go get my phone. Like I know he's the master sergeant and stuff, but you got people running around you like you're a king and shit, dude. Like I'm not gonna. This guy. You could tell just by looking at him. Look at it, how unset he is. Look at his cover. Look at his belly. It's just.
Look at his. He's got more chins. Oh my God.
But then his claim that he loves the First and Second Amendment so much, while he's telling this guy you have to get out of here, and I'm gonna print up the sign that you just said. If there's a sign, I'm gonna print one up for you. And then if you have a problem with that, you could talk to actually, Last Days of Freedom says, I'll call your superiors and let them know that you're printing up bullshit signs, you know, because people do it all the time. There are agencies, I've run into a couple, they'll put up a U.S. code or something that doesn't apply to us, and they'll make it like it does. And they'll try to say, oh, no, right there, there's the sign right there. Well, that sign is sitting under an overpass. It's not in front of a business like it would apply, you know?
Exactly. Hey, look, those National Guard operations, unless they're activated, they're under the control of the state. They're state property.
Right.
Okay. So, and number two, obviously, this guy's in over his head. He doesn't know. He's probably got duty that day, CQ duty, whatever. He's the sergeant in charge, whatever. He's out there trying not to look like a moron. He knows he's in over his head. He's got more chins than a Chinese note phone book. He's way out of standards, this guy. All right. Bottom line, there's probably, what time is it? Is it a little later in the afternoon there?
Yeah. I think this was right.
There's probably no officer. There's probably no officer there that he can grab and go, here, you do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he got stuck, and now here he is trying not to look like an idiot. So he wants to get the shit on the cone and try to sell his ice cream. That's all he's doing. He's doing the two-step dance. Look at him. Look at that Dickie right there.
his staff sergeant actually schooled him. His
And
staff
find
sergeant
out if you were legally allowed to do that, and if not, I'm going to sue you for violating my rights, Johnson.
Do you want me to give you my superior's phone number?
No, I can look it up.
You better. You should have done that from the beginning.
I don't need your government phone.
No, I mean, we can call them. We don't have to wait.
And there it is.
308-5371. And you can reach me at any time you want to.
All right.
My email, more than welcome to it. Give you a business card.
Your phone number's good.
Literally asked for it.
So the police are on the way.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm not mad at you.
No.
There have been shootings, there have been shootings, there have been
So this is
That
sergeant
happens
first
every day
class, they
everywhere.
call it.
It does.
This is what we would call gunny.
So does that mean that because it's happening
Here's would be a
everywhere
master
across the
chief.
country, we should just stop anybody that shows up with a camera or anything, violate their rights and tell them to get off the property that they paid for?
I'm just saying.
We're just asking you to do the go to the correct channels with the PAO rep.
I did go through the correct channels. It's called the Constitution, the freedom of press that government cannot restrict, and you're trying
So
to.
you're a press.
I said I was a journalist.
Okay, do you have credentials?
I'm independent.
The credentials.
Yeah, I know. There
You
they
know-
go again with credentials. These morons believe that that credentials are standardized across the country.
Well, like, when did you get trained to learn how to read credentials and whether they're real or not? Like, how would he know? Let's say
You
here.
don't. You don't. So, I mean, but when these officers don't even know that, there's no standardized credentials. I mean, yeah, ABC, CB, they all make their own stuff, but there's no law saying that, Florida law says, every reporter has to have these credentials. Everybody today is an investigative journalist if you own a cell phone.
This guy said, "Friends in code, what's up?" He said, "Meal Team 6. That's the Gravy Seals right there."
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
And then
Definitely. And you know what that E7's thinking, right? He's thinking, I can't wait till this fat fuck retires so I can get those stripes, man. This guy's my boss for however long. He's way over the hill. He's fat, he's old, and I wish he would just retire so I can get those stripes. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah. And he actually deserves them. He deserves them more than this
Standing
guy.
on my front yard or on the school steps when you're recording.
Here he uses the front yard example.
Well, your front yard's different. That's private property.
Well, what if I'm staying on the road and just walking down the road recording everybody's house?
You have the right to do that if you want
You're
to.
right. You do.
Everybody
As long
with
as
a
you
dash
are
cam
in
can
a
do
public
that.
area, you can record anything your eyes can see.
That's fine. I mean,
You can't trespass the eyes.
are you prior service?
No.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
There's a lot of editing in this.
You do what you need to do. If you got questions, please feel free. Master Sergeant Johnson said you can reach out to our public affairs office. They're the ones that handle any questions, especially if you're trying to actually write a story about something with validity to it. They can answer.
Well, this just became the story now.
Okay.
Being kicked off government property.
Kick me off.
He said the police is on their way.
We didn't say you were kicked off.
They come to do nothing but violate people's rights.
We
Your
didn't say you
superior-
were kicked
Y'all
off.
are supposed to fight for my rights and my freedom.
Right on.
And let me tell you, I fought a long time.
Yeah.
Then what are you out here doing? You should walk out here and say, "Sir, what are you doing?" And I tell you what I'm doing, and you say, "Okay, that's fine. Go back in and sit in there and watch me if you want to." But to sit there and tell me I'm not welcome here,
Not sponsored. You're free to record. We just want to come out and see what's going on because it is a little bit suspicious to see somebody. This doesn't happen.
He
every
just
day.
stepped
it's
on some
suspicious
toes.
of a felony or a misdemeanor.
It's not. I'm just saying it's
Yep.
unusual. So that's it. That's all.
It's unusual.
Yes.
Every single person in the world has a camera on their phone.
Yeah, but not every person in the world comes out to get the armor. Hey, but if
Because
you
not every single person in the
No,
world
about
is
200 of
press.
us.
that's fine. Your press, your credentials, if you want to bring them, we're more than happy to. But you're fine to be here. We're just telling you we want to come out and say hello. Do you have a name?
I'm not doing it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm Jeremiah Bravo. It's born on our chest. This is Master Sergeant Johnson. I mean,
Jeremiah, I think
anyway,
that's
you're
what
free to be
Last
here.
Days of
Just wanted to
Freedom's
say
name is
what's going
too.
on, but you're fine.
I'm here for no ill will. I'm not going to harm y'all. I'm not going to touch no vehicles. I came here to get video, pictures, and I'm leaving. That was it.
Yeah. So that was these guys. They just got schooled. They still called the cops. The cop shows up, and it's pretty much just a.
Here we go.
All right, sir. They just wanted me to let you know that it's kind of creepy out here videoing, but if you want to stay, you can stay, but they prefer you leave. But that's up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Can I get your name and badge number?
Yes, sir. My name is Officer Nick Jones. My badge number is 750.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's obviously a
I
cop.
understand what they're saying, that
Hang on.
the attacks.
Say again.
That's obviously a cop that has seen one of the videos, the auditing videos. I think he knew right there. You know what I'm saying? He knew. And guess what? So auditors do change things. Keep it going, guys. You're doing great.
You know, before I started doing audits, I would call and call, and they unsubscribed me from like 3 or 4 of my favorite auditors, and they did it again with one of them. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell too.
Yeah. And like you said, you guys do change things, the auditors. The cops are being trained by the auditors, obviously, because their departments aren't training them. But I think departments are catching on now. So we've affected, or you've affected, change, and I love it. All of the auditors. God bless.
Some have caught on in the right way, and some have doubled down on stupid, handing down memos, and you could see the difference in demeanor in the cops when they're making these arrests now. They're arresting, 5 or 6 auditors in the last couple of weeks, and they're doing it they're not uneasy or unsure about it. Like, am I doing the right thing? Oh, fuck it, we'll figure it out later on. Let's book them, whatever. They're doing it like, oh, I got a memo. Fuck these guys. Let's throw them in jail. Make them work for it. That's just going to make it worse for them.
Well, see, the thing, all they think about is themselves. They're not thinking about the destroying the relationship that's already pretty much destroyed between the police and the community. See, these guys just don't want to let go. They're stuck on stupid, and they're going to cost their department a lot of money, and they're going to lose in the end. They may even lose their careers too.
Let me do
But you got that limited immunity right there. Huh?
A quick plug. If one of the moderators, if I have mods in here right now, can you post San Joaquin's podcast? He just did a podcast with the Free Thought Project. I've been reading their stuff for years now. And San Joaquin did a podcast with them. It's his 3rd podcast. He did one with you. He did one with a couple other people. But Jay Surreal, who just got arrested, and like when they double down on stupid and they arrest somebody, we're going to come back. So Rogue Nation, Eyes on the State, Jay Surreal, and Big Nick went down there, did a revisit, and
that's Metro-Dade, right?
Yeah, Miami-Dade. Right. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
It used to be Metro-Dade. It's Miami-Dade now. They changed it when they changed the name of the county. But
different circus, same clowns.
Right, exactly. So what they were talking about was, different police agencies and how they've, come to be better, and some are still worse. And the reaction and the stories that get, brought to the news. I mean, not to compare tragedies. Any loss is bad, but the Elijah McClain story, they were talking about that there, but you don't hear that a lot. Elijah McClain was the introverted kid who was, injected with ketamine and killed after the cops choked him out and killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a horrible thing. There was a protest, not really a protest, a vigil, a violin vigil for him because he used to play the violin, and the cops showed up to break that up also. A couple weeks later,
Oh my God.
These cops went back to the scene and started reenacting the whole murder and laughing about it and stuff. And those cops were just suspended for a couple days. I don't know if with or without pay, but they were caught. They recorded it because they're stupid and they're heartless pigs. So they I mean,
yeah.
So we're making changes, but there's so much to do, man. Look at these pieces of shit. That's just one of many stories. So yeah, there's entire agencies who are passing down that memo of let's make them work for it, and that's the wrong approach.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen,
we're gonna keep coming.
Hey, fuck you too. I'm saying fuck you to them too, because you don't deserve to wear that uniform. You don't deserve to wear that flag, my flag, on your uniform, because you're knowingly violating constitutional rights. That, to me, you are a pig.
Hey, thanks, Transparency. I appreciate that $5, man. You know, I always say I don't need the donations. I appreciate them though. You know, it's getting to be expensive. You know, I gotta pay a couple lawyers now. But thank you very much. I don't need it, but thank you. Cool out AC, Kathy Lane. You never forget. Never gonna forget. Yeah, Aurora, Colorado is where that happened with Elijah McClain. Poor kid.
Okay.
All right.
Stuff going on and all the threats and all that. But, I mean, really, how many people come out here to do harm and withstand right here, one person where they can be seen?
Well, they just
When is it?
from the past.
I know that, but even still, when that happened, they didn't know it was going to happen. It just happened.
Yes.
If somebody's going to do something, you're not going to see them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just saying that was my point, and their feelings don't trump my rights. Like he said, he was going to put a sign up there saying this whole parking lot and area is a restricted area. Well, if he does that, that's a violation of my rights if I can't walk back down here, because this is government property, which is public property. Same way y'all can't stop me from coming and recording the police station, which I've done 1,000,001 times.
Yep.
You know, so.
All right. Well, if you need us for anything, just call us, okay?
Yep. How are we doing?
One of the things about this channel, Last Days of Freedom, is he's come a long way. He's been putting in work, and he doesn't stop. He is dedicated to this. I'd like for you guys to go over and subscribe to his channel.
Me too. So I wanted to also show you this. This was Elijah McClain's violin vigil.
Stop! Peace! 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 Peace!
This is what they were firing upon. It's a concert.
Beautiful.
And then look, these guys show up like stormtroopers. They're pleading. They're saying please. They're supplicant. They're not aggressive. And the cops treat them like they were trying to raid the Capitol or something.
That makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. And it was for this one kid, man, Elijah McClain, man. Poor kid. If it breaks my heart every time I hear that story too, man. I mean,
oh, that's horrible. I remember you told me, and I looked and I researched it. Man, that's terrible. Heartbreaking.
Yep. Freaking Media has a premiere at 11. That's perfect timing. We're going to wrap this up in about 20 minutes. he says it's going to be hilarious. So yeah, we'll jump on there. Let's do a Wrights Crispy raid, a bang raid. You know what those are, Rob? That's where you go to the other room.
Anytime I hear bang and raid, I like it. It's like bang.
Right. Yeah, we'll go to another room and let them know that we sent you.
Okay.
All these guys, Cool Out AC, Friends in Code, HBR. What's up, brother? Midwest Transparency, Save the Humans. Thanks for being here always. Thanks for putting up the San Joaquin podcast channel too. So yeah, these guys will. Some folks. Let me clarify this. Some folks are watching this on the Bang channel, and some folks are watching it on the Wrights Crispy channel. We're broadcasting to both right now. So yeah, all these folks will go into another room who is live and let them know Wrights Crispy sent us Wrights Crispy raid. The first time that happened was Chuck Bronson. It was a Chuck Bronson raid. He's another activist. He's got a big, I think it's a TAC Tahoe, but it looks like a legit undercover or SWAT response federal tactical vehicle. And he rolls up. Okay. So he just parks there, and they think it's one of them. So they never give him a hard time.
Oh, sure, yeah. He's hiding in plain sight. Beautiful.
Yeah. And he's one of the happiest guys doing this too. He's always laughing.
Good. You gotta laugh.
Yep.
You gotta laugh. I see.
Yeah, Activism News Network on Roku. Wrights Crispy, Rogue Nation, James Madison Audits, News Now California. Big Nick, South Florida is on there. A bunch of folks. But go see the Stone Sailors motivating content on his channel too. Make sure you go.
My YouTube and my Instagram. I'd appreciate it if you followed me on my YouTube channel. Trying to start my own podcast, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than to work with this guy here and the auditing community. It's awesome. I love it. It gives me a lot of inspiration knowing that you guys boots on the ground and you're fighting for our First Amendment, which is under a serious assault right now from a lot of angles. And you guys, right, man, you guys, you got my heart, and Finn right here, and Dave, you guys turn out to be my close friends, and it's a pleasure working with you. It's a pleasure, man.
Same here, bro. We got to stick together, man, because we're outnumbered.
We got to. Exactly. We got to, especially now. And like I said, I just like how when I watched your videos for the first time, and you go out there, you act like a gentleman, you give respect, let that officer make a complete ass out of himself. He's showing his colors, because if they're speaking to you that way, knowing that they have a camera in their face, imagine how they speak to you if you don't have a camera. That's scary. Think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to go to that one video. You said you saw it, the one where I'm in Alabama, and I was just driving through the parking lot while my wife was getting chicken at Publix. If you guys know Publix chicken, Publix is a local supermarket. It's Publix, and they're just delicious. It's
delicious fried chicken,
the best fried chicken. And then you get a chicken.
Their fried chicken blows away antibodies.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't even try to compare it to Subway. They're subs also. I mean, they're
subs too.
Yeah, their subs are like, there was a thing where they were trying to like start their own like public sub stores, but it turned out to be an April Fool's Day joke, and I was so heartbroken because that would be perfect. It deserves its own standalone store. Here we go.
Hey, if you got a birthday coming and you need a cake or something, excellent bakery too.
Yep.
They got everything. They really do.
And we're not paying. They're just that delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Delicious for sure.
No seas cabeza
We're
dura.
not getting paid for Publix. This is the truth.
Right on. So yeah, check this out. Let me show you guys this video. This guy was driving this big dragon wagon. I don't know what they call it, but I just saw it and it looked like a cool vehicle. My little boy was in the back of this rental van. We rented a minivan, and he's strapped up in his car seat. And I didn't want to get him out since my wife was about to walk out with the chicken. We were going to take off to the park right nearby.
Starting.
So I get out and I talk to this guy. Yeah, and he's really cool. He tells me everything I wanted to know for like my story that I thought you guys would want to see. I said, oh, let me do a little Wrights Crispy clip here. Yes, I think so. Constitution, laws, truth. Yes, the answer is yes. I believe they are targeting us to try to discourage people. That's a tactic we've seen before, and it comes and goes in waves, Yeah. All right.
Specialist Watson, and who are you guys with? North 46 Engineer Brigade. All right, so you guys are sappers? No, we're kind of a mixed bunch. Oh, okay. I'm really an engineer unit, I'm mixed in all. Cool, my little boy loves this stuff. He's right there watching.
So that should have dispelled any, fears or whatever.
Yeah.
But this guy, Benavides, he's a little shrimp cocktail pissed off.
Eating at the park. I was in the ring.
And then this guy comes in to help him. He asked me for my ID. I was like, what do you think you're doing, man? Who do you think? He must be an off-duty cop, like doing his National Guard duty also, whatever. Because where do you get off? You were an MP in the Navy. But everybody I know who was in the military would know not to ask for ID. They don't have the right to ask for ID. They're not cops. Just because you wear a uniform.
Yeah, not a civilian.
Right. So.
Just for my protection, Staff Sergeant. I just came to ask Benavides if you guys are from Fort McClellan. I know you guys just had a best soldier competition. Okay, is that nearby?
You can probably Google it.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, or you could just tell me. You could just tell me and not be a prick. I was trying to de-escalate. He's just still like uneasy, doesn't understand why I'm doing this. Well, I'm doing it now, and I told him for my protection because this guy started being stupid,
I'm waiting for my wife to get some chicken out of here so we can.
The other guy was being stupid. This guy became a liar. Don't lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate anyone who does.
There you go, shipmate. Yeah.
And he fibbed. He told me that he didn't call the cops, but he did. Look.
Wait for them if you did. If not, let them know I'll be at the park.
Tell him we'll be at the park. I let him know. He did call the fuzz.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Were you the one over there by the haircut?
I was. Your name and badge number, please.
So I just let these guys know that, yeah, they're being snowflakes.
And I find out so much. I do records.
About a guy with his kids in a minivan. And then he just went off on this weird thing about why I didn't let my kid out of the car seat. Like, you should have let your kid out and go interact with these sketchy, scared fools.
Did see some stationary video camera.
Yeah, and then there's these things. You know about these things?
What are those panels?
It's just got like cameras, and I think those are license plate readers too.
Okay.
So
yeah, they.
No. This is a police state, folks. There's no question about it. They put those outside of the hotel just to catch, like, I guess, people who might be staying in, and they compare it off.
Or if your tags, they're there to write you a ticket.
Yeah, but I think they actually keep hot lists, and it'll like hit if it matches one or something. And that keeping that hot list is against the law constitutionally in Virginia. So far, the only state who has made it illegal.
Oh, to hold the information, for the police to hold the information,
tracking and storing.
Oh, you know what? That law needs. Hopefully, that law will become federal.
I hope so too, because I mean, you can't just keep dossiers on people. You know what I mean? That's some Iranian shit right there.
Yeah,
that's what
we've all seen. If you picked up a history book, we all know what happens when that starts happening.
Those who don't, learn from our history are doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So yeah, I just wanted to show you, my take on the National Guard. It's just like the cops, just like firefighters, just like everybody. You can't just blanket hero label them. You gotta let the heroes shine and let the snowflakes melt, weed them out, show everybody who's who. And, when we have that blind loyalty, that's where the cult of personality starts. That's where people start buying into stuff. And when they turn around and they see they're not being backed up, that's, you can't fall for that stuff, folks.
Nope.
Don't answer every call to action.
Yeah. Make sure you do your due diligence. Due diligence.
So,
and
to wrap up,
go ahead.
What do you think the motivation was behind that person who gave the bad interview with Politico? That one guardsman. Do you think they were jaded politically, or do you think they were just that upset about being in the parking garage?
Or it could have been maybe an admin, MOS, maybe lieutenant. We're always assuming it's an enlisted like E1. It could be O1 or an O2. Right out of college, just took the little commission in the National Guard, and you're making me sleep on the floor. Oh, no. And then she loose lips, sink ships. But what she doesn't know about, or he, whether they're officer or enlisted, you could be charged with Article 134. That's the catch-all article, because you've now brought discredit upon the United States Army. Yep. Thank you, shipmate.
Right on.
So that's what and trust me, I'm her, whoever it is, but trust me, her chain of command is well aware, and she's been briefed. Or he. Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying she. I think it's a girl.
It could have been either way, and it could have been somebody who
could be so.
It could have been. We can't. Hey, Lion One. We can't say that everybody was complaining, because you saw all those people. They kind of situated themselves how I've seen, hundreds of different units situated. We're all like lying on our packs, you know, that's just, you see it all the time in pictures of troops.
Yeah. Yes. You know, if you're laying down,
if they were like on Fire Island or whatever, you saw that failed like music concert on that island when they were being locked into the airport with chains so they couldn't raid the beaches and stuff. Yeah, that would be a different story, but it wasn't like that.
No. But at the same time, perception's reality. And if, for instance, you really make someone look bad and you were in the military, that's one way you could do it. Hey, get all the troops in the hotel, get them in the parking garage, you know, and hey, they'll blame so-and-so. He doesn't care about the troops.
Yeah. And that's
there's little things like that too.
Look, I get, you know, having anger.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, but there are 100 valid complaints that we could have against, you know, our elected officials. You know what I mean? The little sideshows and distractions. That's why I asked, what's going on behind that door over there, though? You know?
Yeah,
we got always
exactly. There's always, like I said, I don't believe in coincidences. They were there long enough to protect the Capitol for the inauguration, and they were there long enough to take a photo shoot with our elected officials. And then after that, we didn't seem to have any more time to spend there. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, optics, perception's reality. And when you're looking at it on television or you're looking at it, you know, through the internet, and the perception was that our government treats our veterans like crap. Now, the reality of that is true.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Loose lips sink ship.
There you go. Hey, loose lips sink ships. Don't be listen, Diggy. Loose lips sink ship.
That's a good question. Why were they there in the first place? They were there
to guard the Capitol.
Yeah, to guard the Capitol from another invasion from the methamphetamines who stormed. Shout out to.
Hey, listen. You're lucky it wasn't my boys, the vegan Navy, the Coast Guard. You're lucky, boys. You're lucky it wasn't them. They didn't take over. Huh?
Yep. Team Xbox says Biden will take away our rights. You know, tell him to get in line with all the other.
Get in line, yes.
Yeah.
He will try.
And he probably got in line, you know. Well, no, as soon as they keep signing that stuff to let the alphabet soup spy on us and keep track on us and do those dossiers, I mean, that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
that ship has sailed. They took our rights. I think the only rights that we have, the only one of the first Bill of Rights that we have intact is number 3, that they can't stage troops in our house. That's the only one that hasn't been affected if they label you a terrorist. They label you a terrorist, all the other ones are gone. And guess what? If you're a libertarian, the CIA has just labeled you a terrorist. They're saying that libertarians are terrorists now. And the bright side is that maybe now the CIA will give us weapons.
Weapons or drugs or both.
Right.
Yep, because they like to do that.
Right.
Crazy.
So I'm going to be reminding everybody about the Libertarian Party for the next 4 years too. Like 2024, if not then, when? You know?
I would love to see who the candidate's going to be for the Libertarian Party.
Me too. I hope it's not Vermin Supreme. I mean, God bless the man.
It's not.
He's the president of ethics. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the boot on his head.
Yeah, I watched. I'm familiar with it. A lot of times I end up voting libertarian.
You know who's great and who I would want to see as our next president of the United States? Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, for sure.
Gabbard, if you guys haven't seen just her latest podcast, you can go on Spotify and listen to it with Joe Rogan. The Joe Rogan Experience on Spotify. He moved over there now, but there are little clips here on YouTube you could still watch. And
she's been on the show twice.
Yeah, but she was 3 times.
I enjoyed her.
It was the 3rd time, just this last one. She went on after the election, after the inauguration. I mean, yeah, and she talked about how Congress is like high school. They're like, oh my gosh, you're over there talking to those people. You're supposed to be with us. And it's
See, that's why, you know what? That's why if I ever ran for Congress, Finn, and got elected, I want to start my own stoner crowd in Congress. I want to be the stoner crowd. You know? Don't hang out with Farlow. He's a stoner. He's a stone seller, Dickie. Of course he's a stoner.
Thanks, Nathan Bush. You know why they spell it like that, right? C-A-N-A-D-A. That's my dad joke for Canada. Yeah, I think she's good. Why? I was disappointed when she caved. Yeah, but
well, she put Kamala right in her place.
Yeah, she did.
She put Kamala right in her face.
Cool. Thank you, and Amagansett Press, Political Theater. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I really like her and what she has to say about making sure that those people are there because of us. If we do have this choice, and it's not just an illusion of choice where we pick the 430 something Congress people, we have to educate ourselves on putting the right person in there and not letting them get bought and sold. And we have to get somebody in there who will overturn that Citizens United bullshit. That's freedom of speech is not money. Sure. It's not freedom of money. Money is 100%.
And corporations aren't people, damn it. They're corporations.
Right. Yeah, so we have to stop that shit, and we have to elect the right people who could put a stop to that and who could actually reduce our government, stop wasteful spending, stop regime-changing wars that cause all this blowback, like, people coming to our borders. And, we have to have that money left over. Stop the war on drugs. There's 30%. We can get more judges on the border. Find out who is really seeking asylum, who is going to be a good American, who is going to invent the next iPod or whatever. We got to do that. That's America.
Yeah, I agree. This war on drugs has bankrupted us. This war on terror bankrupted us. It's time to end these stupid wars. Okay, we're doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. Insanity. That's the people that are running the country. They're insane. So stop voting for insane people. Let's get some new blood in there. Okay. Some of our highest ranking elected.
No, go ahead.
And you know what I'm doing day one when I'm sworn in? You know that? You know what I'm going to do, Finn?
What's that?
I'm going to have Mitch McConnell's turkey x-rayed. You understand? Because I think he's got secrets, American classified documents, surgically implanted in his neck. I think he's given them to China because his wife her family is all tied in with the Chinese government and the banks of China. I believe he's smuggling secrets in that neck of his. So when I'm sworn in to Stone Sailor's president of the United States, my first act is bring me McConnell and an x-ray machine and a surgeon too. And I want that thing opened up.
That makes sense. On that happy note, thank you, Stone Sailor, and everybody who's in here in the chat. We're 5 minutes overboard. But thank you all. We'll have another one next week and some stuff in between. But Stone Sailor, you're dismissed.
Yes, sir. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.